Okay, so I haven't posted in a long time. Let me tell you why. A while back, in a stream I had with Asho and Beepup, you might have heard this.
Well, yo, mad props to DeVoe actually. He has a
Oh
broken
my
wrist
gosh,
right
bro.
I did end up actually having a broken wrist through that entire stream and even a couple weeks before that. But how did this happen? I play soccer. I play for a club and my school team. I was a captain for my school team at the time, and we were already having a pretty bad season, but we still had a chance for playoffs. On October 2nd, during one of the games that decided us going to playoffs, is when it all went wrong. In the first half, I was already having a pretty bad game, and we were down by 5 goals by the end of it. The second half started, and they scored on us 2 more times. Then I was rushing back because it was a 1-on-1 with the striker on the other team and my keeper. I ran back, got in the way of the kid. He shot. It deflected off me. It ended up being a corner. But as it deflected off me, I started falling back and landed directly on my hand. And now, as I was falling, the kid pushed me, so that added even more force and pressure added onto my hand. Now, when I fell, my hand looked like this.
Oh my god!
So, all my weight went right onto it. Now, it wasn't even a minor break. It was pretty bad. When it first happened, I didn't even notice it was broken until I felt a tiny bit of pain. Then I looked at it, and the pain hit me because it was supposed to look like this, but it ended up looking like this. The trainer for the game ran over fast and wrapped up my arm in something that you could probably find off Wish. It did kind of help support my wrist. Now, after all this happened, my parents rushed me over to the nearest DR and had to sit and wait outside for an entire hour. Finally, I got brought in. They took a couple x-rays and they looked at my wrist, and I got sent back out for another 20 minutes. Then they brought me back inside to another waiting area, but this one, they gave me some pain meds through like an IV thing in my arm. But I sat there and waited for an entire hour, and the pain meds didn't really work on me that much. I still felt a decent amount of pain. It worked a minor bit. But finally, after another hour of waiting, I got brought back into a room. But something horrible happened. So, before the game, I had a snack. And you can't go under anesthesia if you've eaten in the past 6 hours. So I had to wait another hour and a half just to go under anesthesia for them to put my wrist back in place. Finally, they put me under anesthesia. They put my wrist back in place. I thought it was going to be over. Wrong. So I woke up from anesthesia and there was a big bulky thing on my wrist, kind of like a cast, except it wasn't one. It was like a makeshift one. They gave me some pain meds for home, and I got out of the ER around 1 a.m., around 7 hours of being in an emergency room. Finally, I get home, I took some melatonin, some pain meds, and I went to bed. So I woke up 2 hours later in excruciating pain. But finally, I went back to sleep and woke up the next morning having to go to the doctor and get a real cast. Honestly, getting a cast was so painful. Because if you break a bone in an area, it's gonna swell up around it, which is just normal for everything. But the cast, they have to mold it around your arm because it's like soft at first, and you're able to bend it and stuff, and then it hardens. But for them to do that, they have to mold it around your arm, and they had to make sure it's tight so it holds my wrist. And they squeezed so tight into my arm, and it was super swollen, so it hurt so bad. It was painful. But then that was done. I went home with the cast. Had another checkup about a week later, and it went well. Then I stayed in the cast for 6 whole long weeks. During those weeks, I wasn't allowed to do soccer, which sucked. It was bad. Soccer was like my life. I loved it. Finally, the day I've been waiting for. Out of the 6 long weeks, November 14th, the day I got my cast off. I finally got it taken off. I was healed. I was done. Except for a couple weeks of physical therapy I had to go through. But those weren't that bad. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really remember the pain I felt when it first happened. Like, I'm just trying to think back of the pain. I can't feel it. Just know, if something bad ever happens to you in life, be strong. Push through it. You got this.